Hey guys, my name's Greg Lettery. Come with me, this is gonna be a good time. Oh my God. I don't know what that means, but cheers. Delicious. Hey guys, my name's Greg Lettery, and welcome to this edition to Sunday Rustic Style. Now today is kind of a cool day because I'm going to tell you why. We have two appetizers that we're going to do, which are going to be really easy to do, and you guys are going to have no problem doing it. And one, of course, it's Sunday, so we're going to make pasta. Okay, so first, we're going to do a scallop dish here. If we can see this, these are great sea scallops. We're going to talk about that in a second. Number two, we're gonna do a fried chicken dish. Very simple to do, and I gotta say, they're gonna come out dynamic. Third, broccoli rabe, chickpeas. We're gonna use gemelli pastas today. Why? Because I love gemellis. And a little bit of Romano cheese too. Actually, we're gonna use locatelli. So, let's walk you through the scallops first. Now, these here, like I said before, are called sea scallops. What you want to do is there's two kinds of sea scallops you could get. They're called wet or dry. Okay, now these are dry sea scallops. If they're wet sea scallops, that means they put a chemical in them called STP. Now STP, what that does is that is a chemical they put in to retain the moisture. They do this on the boats when they catch them. I don't like wet scallops. These are dry. And let's get a visual on this. You can see that the color is not super white. They got a little bit of cream color in them, and they're a touch on the sticky side. That is what I want. Anything that has three letters in it, STP, I don't even know what STP stands for, but I know if I don't know what it means, it's not so good. So what we do is here, is on the end of each scallop, this is the part that is connected to the shell. You wanna go through there, and you wanna get rid of it. Boop, in the garbage it goes. I already did that with the other ones. Now, let's get started. My pan here is on the burner. And I'm gonna tell you, it's very important that you make this pan good and hot. Okay? This dish is scallop a la plancha. And a la plancha really just means, it's a Spanish word really, and it means from the iron. And this is a great dish, so let's get going. That's good and hot. Olive oil. Now, as you guys who know me by now, you know I don't know measurements. So what I do here is I look, and I gotta tell you right now that that is under a quarter cup, okay? You wanna make sure that there's a nice glaze on the bottom of the pan, and it starts to smoke. This is good. Now, quickly, we're gonna salt both sides of these scallops like so. And then we flip them over. It's also very important to keep these scallops on a bit of paper towel, because I want these very dry when they hit the hot oil, okay? So, we're gonna salt the other side like this. Okay, now, to the pan they go. Now, don't get worried here. This is not gonna jump out at you. We're just gonna put each one in, leave a little bit of space in between each one. And now the color that we're going for on these is gonna be a nice dark brown color. A lot of people, they like raw scallops. They like them a little on the medium side, this and that. Not me. I like my scallop to be cooked, okay? Not overcooked, but I like it to be cooked. So these are sauteing nicely. Let me get rid of this pan here. Okay, so we're gonna get started on our second dish now. And this dish here is our fried chicken dish. And to this as well, we're going to use olive oil. And a generous amount on this one. This one's going to be more than probably a quarter cup. Something like this. Okay? Now you want to make sure this is going to get good and hot as well. Now these scallops are bubbling up perfectly. I'm going to turn this burner down just a hair. Like this. Beautiful. Okay, now we're gonna come over here. We're gonna get our chicken. Now, all this is This is a whole chicken that I cut up with the bone in. Now, you see, I left the bone in. There's pieces of thighs in here. There's pieces of drumsticks in here. There's pieces of breasts in here. I cut these, I don't know, what is this, 2 inches, inch and a half, something like this. And this is what I want. So now in goes the pan. Now, all along, don't forget, you have your scallops going. Keep an eye on those too. That's okay. No problem. We're going to put these all together like this. Okay, that's bubbling up nicely. Excuse me, I'm going to just put a quick rinse on my hands. Like this. Okay. Now, coming back over here. We're going to make a sauce for this dish now. This is an alioli. This is a mortar. This is a necessity in our house. We use this all the time. A lot of people don't have one of these. You don't have one? What can I tell you? Don't use it, obviously. If you have a blender of some kind, you can make this dish in a blender. That's fine. We had this. A lot of people use these as decorations. Not here. We're actually going to use it. So what we do is, this is whole peel garlic. All I want is 2. I'm going to give these just a quick, rough chop in there. In the mortar they go. Like that. Now, we're going to put some salt in here. As you know, I always use kosher salt. Now a pinch and another pinch. And maybe one more pinch. Why? They say. My aunt in Spain, she says, oh, so the garlic doesn't jump. I can understand why. So let's just give this a rough, like this. That's coming along good. You want to keep your hand over some of this so they don't come flying out. Okay? Some do come out anyway. That's okay. It's no big deal. You take it, you put the piece back in, no sweat. Okay, at this point now, we're going to give a rough chop to our parsley. Just like that. And in goes the parsley. Just a handful, a fistful. That's all. Okay, now, you keep going like this with the mortar. This is a wonderful alioli. You could use this on many different recipes. A lot of people use this on filet mignon. Actually, this alioli. Great. You saute your filet mignon, top it with this, forget it. Okay, now, this is a little bit painstaking, but believe me, this mortar idea is the best. And all along, you want to keep going like this and letting this. Sometimes you give it a stir, that's good. And then you come back and use your nice muscles. And you get going like this, that's great. Okay, now I'm going to put some olive oil in this dish. Now, not extra virgin, this is just straight up olive oil. This is what I use 90% of the time. So as you stir it, what you want to do is, you want to gently pour that oil in there, just like this, okay? And keep stirring this, okay? Now, my father-in-law, when he used to make this dish sometimes for other things, he would keep stirring. It was a 2-person operation. He would do all the stirring, while my mother-in-law would gently pour the olive oil in like this. And then it would become a consistency of like a mayonnaise. I don't want that consistency. I want this more like an alioli. And a little bit more. Okay, great. That was about a 1/4 cup. I'm going to say that right now. Now, if we can pan in on this right here, so I can show you what this looks like. Okay? Now, this is the consistency I like. It'll stick to your finger. That's perfect. Now, what I want to do as well is, we're going to take, this is about less than a 1/4, just the very end of a lemon. Just like this, the very end of a lemon. Then you take it, and you squeeze that right into there. Just like that. And I'm going to take a little black pepper at the very end. Put that in there, like that. Give it a quick stir. My alioli is done. Let's get back to the pan and see what our scallops look like. Now, if we can look here, I see that around each scallop is a little brown. That's good. That's what I like. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn one over and see what it looks like. Okay. Now that's nice, okay? You see this first scallop right here? You see the color that I'm going for? That nice brown color? That's what we want. So now I know I could turn them all over. And sometimes when you do this, a scallop might be in an area that's not as hot. Move it and put it in an area where it's gonna get brown. Because this is very important in this dish, is that it's gonna get brown. Oh yeah, give it a quick stir. Now, let me show you what all these scallops are looking like here. You see, these are brown, and when you touch them, they're a little bit on the hard side, on the outside. This is good. This is coming along perfectly. Now, here we have our chicken. I gotta give it a little stir now. Be very careful with this dish. Oh yeah. Okay, now, just like the scallops, see how this chicken is turning a nice hint of brown? That's what we're going for. Now remember, when you deal with this dishes, sometimes it pops and you get a little oil on you. So you don't want to wear your Sunday's finest when you're doing this dish. So we're gonna flip over each one, just like this. Oh yeah, I gotta say, this is right on. Now, it's at this point I flipped it once. This has been going for about 7 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. This is what I want to do. It's a little trick. This is a little trick that my aunt from Spain, Tia Carmen, I mentioned her on a show before, showed me. I gotta take a whole garlic now. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna cut off the top. Sometimes it's a little difficult. Watch your fingers. So we cut off the top. And I'm gonna put 2, just like this, whole. Nothing fancy, this is simple. I wanna put 1 over here and 1 over there, okay? All this does is gonna season the oil just enough to give you that little bit of flavor in there, and that's what I'm looking for. Now this is probably gonna go for about another 10 minutes or so. I want these to turn very brown, more so than the scallops, because this is a great thing to nosh on, and I'm gonna show you that in just a minute. Now, let's get back over to our scallops. As you can see, I'm gonna flip one over right here. Not quite. Close, but not quite. The people that like them on the raw side would say, oh, what are you kidding me? You're killing these scallops. Not in my house. Not in my house. This is good. I want these to finish up right. So these are gonna go for about another, I would say 2 minutes. But you don't want to walk away from it, okay? So we're gonna stay here, and that's great. This chicken, I gotta see if you can get a better view on this. This has been going for about, let me get something here, it's a little on the hot side. This has been going now for about 15 minutes, I would say. And you can see, this is brown. You can hear the bubbling is deeper. The bubble is deeper. That means that it is done and it wants to come off. But before I do that, you gotta never forget, you gotta have a drink. Now, today, normally I drink red wine from my friend Frank Cerise, who home makes it, which is delicious. But what we're making here today, and it's warm outside, I got a little juice cup, and I got white wine in there today. Now, I put a little bit of ice in there. All you wine aficionados are gonna say, I can't believe this guy's putting ice in his wine. You know what? It's my house. I didn't have time to put it in the refrigerator and get it cold. So what do? I put ice in it. It's just as good. Jandan and cheers and whatever you say. Oh, that is dynamite. Okay, now let's get a visual on this. The scallops, you see this color on the scallops? I'm gonna turn them off, okay? Boom, no doubt that these are perfectly done. Brown on both sides. This is what I'm going for. Done. My chicken is starting to smoke. You see the smoke coming up? This, I know, I'm gonna turn it off. So let's plate these. I'm gonna show you how to do it now. We're gonna bring this plate right over here. Now, I have this little glass bowl here. We're gonna put our scallops on this dish.